Hello! Welcome to The Big Question. I'm Caitlin. Today's big question is, what can history teach us? Have you ever wondered what life was like in the past? Do you ever think about how life was different 50 years ago? Or 100 years ago? We call 100 years a century. Can you imagine what this place looked like 200 or 300 years ago? So which century would you like to see? Are you ready for some time traveling? Here we go! Whoa! That's a lot of history. History teaches us how life was different in the past. We can learn about the clothes people wore and how they traveled. We can learn about how people worked, what they thought, and what they did for fun. We can even learn about what people ate. Did you know that people in Europe and Africa didn't eat tomatoes until the 16th century? Can you imagine life without tomatoes for pizza and ketchup? Many foods only arrived in Europe when explorers brought them home after sailing to the Americas for the first time in the 16th century. Before that, Europe and Africa didn't have any tomatoes, potatoes, chilies, peanuts, pineapples, corn, or chocolate. History is fascinating, but how do we find out about it? Let's take a look. It's the job of historians to look at old documents, images, maps, and artifacts to learn about what people did in the past. Archaeologists are historians who look for evidence from the past. They often dig in the ground to find buildings and artifacts that they can study to learn about the past. We can learn a lot about past civilizations from historical sites and ruins. Evidence found here helps us see how people lived, the objects they used, and the clothes they wore. Wow! Are there any important historical sites near where you live? I visited the Roman town of Pompeii when I was on vacation in Italy. It's a famous historical ruin. Take a look. Pompeii is close to a volcano that erupted 2,000 years ago. Ash fell on the town, preserving it, so we can still see the streets and many of the buildings. Some even have pictures on the walls and patterned mosaics on the floors. Even the eggs people had in their kitchens were preserved for 2,000 years. Can you believe it? Learning about the past helps us understand what has changed and what has stayed the same. And some people also think that knowing about the past helps to prepare us for the future. What do you think? Okay, now I think you can start to answer the question. What can history teach us? Practice and remember these words, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Century. Explorer. Document. Civilization. Historical site. 1,000. Mosaic. Preserve.